Barbados moves to develop a medical marijuana industry. Scores of children empowered with new technology. And in sports, India dominate day 2 of the second test against the West Indies.
Credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
A very good evening to you with the Saturday, October 13th edition of the CBC Evening News. I'm Ryan Broom in our top story. Barbados is preparing to develop a medical marijuana industry. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security Indar Ware says it's an evolving sector that the island should be a part of. Mr. Ware made the comments at a press conference at the end of the Caribbean Week of Agriculture at the Hilton, Barbados.
I, as Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, have a big responsibility to make sure that this is an industry where Barbadians can be afforded an opportunity as well. And you would have heard me speaking all week about empowerment and enfranchisement. And in our government's BERT program, which is the Barbados Economic Recovery and Transformational Program, we spoke about retooling and empowerment and retraining and enfranchising, which is RIRI. And you know that our international pop star Rihanna is affectionately known as Riri. So we have a program called the Riri program to do exactly that.
The Agriculture Minister also wants regional states to embrace opportunities available through the CARICOM single market and economy.
If we are going to reach anything near 100% food security in the Caribbean region, then we as a people must take responsibility for holding each other's hand and making sure that we can get there. And what I take away clearly from this conference this week, this entire week, is that we have the will to do and that we know what we have to do. And what stands before us now is for us to go ahead and execute so that we as a people can take full advantage of the opportunities that are available to us.
Also speaking at the conference was Executive Director of the Caribbean Agricultural Research Development Institute, Barton Clark. He reiterated the need for greater investment in agricultural research and development.
In this regard, I was very happy for the guidance from the ministers when they met as the Board of Governors of CARDI, in which we charted a strategy for looking at the issues of the sustainable financing of the Caribbean Agricultural Research and Development Institute, positioning that institute to be in a better position to be able to assist with the research and development agenda, not by itself, by any means, but in partnership with national, regional, and international stakeholders.
In a separate press briefing at the end of the meeting, concerns were raised by the Barbados Agricultural Society about the large-scale importation of chicken wings. Chief Executive Officer James Paul wants government to take action, even if it means imposing a temporary ban.
I really am appealing, therefore, for the restriction of the amount of chicken wings that are coming in on a monthly basis right now, and even right now. I think that what we should see instead is a moratorium for the rest of the year. In other words, a cessation of imports until the end of the year, because certainly when we look at the quantities that have been imported to date so far, they are actually more than they should be, and therefore we want an opportunity for us to be able to empty the cold storage of local chicken. That's what we want.
Moving to some labor news now, with plans for public sector layoffs underway, the General Secretary of the Barbados Workers Union, Senator Tony Moore, is appealing to government to stick to the accepted last-in, first-out practice. Senator Moore says job losses are painful, but the union will continue to fight for safety nets for those who will be retrenched. Her comments come following yesterday's special subcommittee meeting of the Social Partnership.
The Barbados Workers Union will maintain its struggle to reduce layoffs, and we will continue to insist that adequate measures are put in place to safeguard households from major dislocation where any layoff takes place. This includes our efforts to have government provide for separation packages of an enhanced nature where that may become necessary.
Meanwhile, the National Union of Public Workers is seeking an urgent meeting with the Ministry of Civil Service over proposed government retrenchments. In a statement, the union says it wants to properly negotiate all matters related to the exercise. The NUPW says it reached agreement in good faith with the former administration that all temporary officers with 3 or more years of service would be appointed. It says the process was started and should be completed. The NUPW assured workers it will continue to vigorously represent their interests. One local insurance company has expressed alarm at the number of traffic accidents on the nation's roads. General Manager of Cooperators General Insurance Company Limited, Anton Lovell, has described it as unacceptable. Speaking at the launch of the company's secondary schools Speak Off competition, he suggested that a solution could be found in the minds of the nation's youth. The topic of the Speak Off this year is what steps could be taken by road users to prevent vehicular accidents. The participants from over 10 public and private schools received training in a number of areas, including presentation techniques and skills.
Perhaps you have the answers. So I'm really looking forward to your presentations. After you get through your training, you go back to your respective schools and make your presentations effective, clear, and I'm certain that it would benefit you as you continue to develop through your school life.
St. George Secondary School won the inaugural competition. Other winners included Queen's College and St. Michael's School. Coordinator and Human Resource and Marketing Manager Cheryl Ford says the competition has helped the participants with their development.
Even if you don't win the initial prize, you do get a trophy for participating, and that's an achievement. And more than that, you get to develop yourself. You get to learn how to speak, how to present, how to talk about on a given topic. And this year, as you would heard Mr. Lovett talk about the topic, we selected the topic because are you aware that there are a lot of road accidents on our road?
Yes. In other news, 150 children are all smiles today, thanks to the Eden Lodge Youth and Charitable Trust, the People's Republic of China, and other key stakeholders. The children from a cross-section of communities around the island have received tablets as part of the initiative to assist some less fortunate children by empowering them with technology. The presentation of tablets took place at the courtyard by Marriott. It was attended by a number of officials, including Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs Cynthia Ford, the Speaker of the House of Assembly Arthur Holder, Deputy Speaker of the House Glenn Clark, Minister of Youth Adrian Ford, and Political Counselor of the People's Republic of China Zhu Xi. CBC's Marketing Manager Diane Fort was also a part of the event. In her feature address, Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs Cynthia Ford urged the children to make good use of the tablets and to value them.
So I want you to use your tablets to do research. Go on the net, make sure that you can get that information to have that project ready for your classroom and for your teacher. I want you to use it for recreation because you will still be able to be relaxed in the environments you are in when you are sitting alone. You'll be able to read up a lot of information, follow the international news and so on. And of course you will use it to communicate, and it will not belabor that point.
Meanwhile, President of the Eden Lodge Youth and Charitable Trust, Dwayne Grisette, spoke about the significance of the gesture.
The People's Republic of China has provided the opportunity through this kind donation to our charity to ensure that those students who continue to strive for academic excellence in this country can do so with great resources.
And political counselor with the Embassy of the People's Republic of China, Zhu Xi, says they were pleased to make the donation.
The Chinese Embassy in Barbados will keep its commitment to provide assistance to Barbados side for the developing of the educational and other areas within its capacity.
Members of the visually impaired community continue to experience problems with product labels, and it can make their shopping experience quite challenging. Rianne Phillips tells us more.
Grocery shopping, which is usually an easy task, can be a headache if you're visually impaired. According to Vice President of the National United Society of the Blind, Rudyard Welch, sometimes it's a case of trial and error.
if possible, could put Braille on some of the items. And for persons that are not able to read Braille, like some diabetics who are blind, they can put distinguished marks on certain products. They can have a discussion with us and we could come together, put together some ideas how to go about doing that.
Mr. Welch also wants to see a change to local currency notes.
Over time, the Braille dots on the money has deteriorated and it's difficult to distinguish them. And it is a bigger challenge for diabetics who in their fingers some of the feeling go out sometimes. So it would be to look at that again to see how best we can come up with an idea how to identify the money other than using the Braille dots and that's being used at this present time. Probably we can look at if the notes could be smaller. All the notes in Barbados are the same size. If there were various sizes, or you can put distinguished marks on particular notes, that could help us. But that is something that we could discuss and see which is the best and most feasible way to do that.
The public got a first-hand experience of the daily struggles of the blind at a recent blindfold challenge organized by the Lions Club of Bridgetown.
It gives persons the opportunity to experience what it is like if they have no sight, and being able to shop in various locations, and obviously today is Skelton. So basically it's groceries, and so how you identify the various difference in cans, whether it's corned beef, luncheon meat, meal, flour, grains and peas and things like that.
Participants also learned how to use probing canes correctly. Rianne Phillips, Cbc News.
Thanks, Rianne. Well, Barbados has made significant advancements in glaucoma treatment. Glaucoma specialist Dr. Dawn Grosvenor says recent improvements include quicker surgeries for patients with the eye condition and reduced healing times.
We're dealing with some of the most challenging cases, so we always did the most effective surgeries, the largest surgeries. Those often required people to go to sleep for them or need an anesthetic, and they often would take about an hour or an hour and 15 minutes. Now with the newest surgery, we can do them under a local anesthetic, so you don't have to go to sleep, which means your hospital time is much less, and the actual surgical time is between 15 minutes to half an hour.
Dr. Grosvenor made the revelation on the sidelines of a World Sight Day lecture at the Lions Eye Care Center at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. She has also disclosed that cases of glaucoma have remained steady over time.
It stayed at a pretty consistent 7% of the population with glaucoma. That is what they found in the eye studies, which started in the 80s and finished in 2003. So we still have this same high level continuing. And that's high enough. We don't need to see more than that. That is quite enough, because in other countries they only have 1 to 2% of their population, the UK and US. So if we have 7% for such a small country, that's thousands of people, and that's enough.